Okay, we're continuing with the quote book, Holy Grail Wisdom Quotes by me, Pete Rogers. We're going in alphabetical order. This is John Taylor Gatto. He's like the greatest educator ever from the United States. I read tons and tons of stuff about education. I was very interested in it, and this guy was the best one. He lived from 1935 to 2018. He was like a teacher in New York City. He won Teacher of the Year award several times. The guy's great. But here's what's funny. Whenever somebody becomes great, they get in trouble. Because the public school system is not designed to help kids. It's designed to hurt them, to turn them into feminized, stupid little conformists. Okay? So, he's a brilliant guy. He wrote some really famous books, Dumbing Us Down, The Hidden Curriculum of Compulsory Schooling, The Underground History of American Education. Anything he does is always really good. He's great. The guy's brilliant. He's nice. He tells the truth. Like so many great teachers, he was suspended several times, and eventually they fired him once. He eventually quit teaching when he was in his 50s. And what he says is that innovation and learning was better in the 1800s. In general, society was more intelligent in the 1800s. People would question that, and I'll say, you know what? Look at the books. People routinely would read these 800-page books. That's because, there wasn't anything else to do, but they still had the ability to do it. How many people you know that are capable of reading an 800-page book? Not that many. Okay. He also says literacy rates were higher when people didn't go to school. I believe that because people want to learn how to read. You learn naturally by phonetics versus in school they teach the look-say method and they create a lot of dyslexics in people that don't ever learn to read. Role models. He said imitation of notable models as an effective spring of learning was the most ancient and effective way to motivate people to learn, to be like somebody who you admired. And people, when they learn history, you should learn history based on heroic figures because they're memorable. Versus when you learn history by memorizing dates, you forget all that, most of it. Self-knowledge, John Taylor Gatto. Every great system of philosophy has ultimately come down to self-knowledge. Self-knowledge is the basis for the development of other knowledge. It is better for kids to engage locally. Self-directed learning and teaching is best. It is much more powerful than one-size-fits-all schooling. These modern kids are ahistorical. Kids should know about their ancestors, about their intellectual traditions. Homeschoolers are routinely 5 to 7 years ahead of the public school kids in their ability to think. Yeah, homeschooling is by far the best if your family can afford it. If I was born again and knew what I know now, I wouldn't want to go to school. I'd want to educate myself. Okay, he continues. One of the surest ways to recognize real education is by the fact that it doesn't cost very much and it doesn't depend on expensive toys or gadgets. The experiences that produce real education and the self-awareness that propels it, they're nearly free. It is hard to turn a dollar on real education, but schooling is a wonderful hustle, getting sharper all the time. Independent study, community service, adventures, and experience, large doses of privacy and solitude, 1,000 different apprenticeships, the one-day variety or longer. These are all powerful, cheap, and effective ways to start a real reform of schooling. But no large-scale reform is ever going to work to repair our damaged children and our damaged society until we force open the idea of a school to include the family. The family should be the main engine of education. If we use schooling to break children away from their parents, and make no mistake, that has been the central function of schools since John Cotton announced it as the purpose of the Bay Colony schools in 1650, and Horace Mann announced it as the purpose of the Massachusetts schools in 1850, then we're going to continue to have the horror show that we have right now. Yeah, parents, they love the kid more than anybody else. They should be very much involved in the kid's education. They don't have to be scholarly. They'll still have a sense of what's best for that kid. Gatto. The only way to add value yourself is to add value to others. Quality in education means learning something in depth. Yeah, and the way you learn something in depth is you have to be interested in it. But, you can just give a book report to the class, but that'll get the kid to learn something that the kid remembers. Gatto. Inventory your strengths and develop them to the pinnacle to serve your community. Yeah, that's a good thing to do. Make a list of what you really like doing, what you're good at, and then can you make any money from it? And if you can make some money from it, that's probably a good field for you. If you can't make any money from it, but you love it and you're good at it, then make it a hobby. Okay, John Taylor Gatto continues. Great teaching inspires passion. Conventional schooling is a straitjacket. Yeah, that's true. I know if I'm teaching somebody, let's say I'm teaching a medical student, a college student or something, or a resident, when I'm teaching them, it's fun. They get a kick out of it. I'll make jokes. A lot of times I'll tease them about how ignorant and stupid they are. And it's all kind of fun. Versus regular school, they don't joke. They just tell you the test is on Friday. So with real education, and think about when your father would teach you stuff. It was usually kind of fun. Okay. Like I was teaching like this one computer programmer not that long ago. Okay. And he kept saying one stupid thing after another. He knows computers real well, but he doesn't know much outside of computer programming. Okay. So, men, we insult each other when we're friends. Okay. Because you don't insult a stranger. But when you're friends and one of your friends is doing something stupid, you call them names, So, like I was teaching this guy, and he's a big, strong guy, bigger than me, but I would just keep teasing him. I go, hey, dummy, what about this? What about this? What about this? And he's laughing because he knows I'm right, and it was funny. What I'm trying to say is it's fun when you learn about things that you actually care about, that you want to know. And in a normal teaching relationship, teasing is normal. Not to be mean, but just because it's fun. It's part of the game. Okay, so anyways, all lasting education is self-motivated. That's Conrad Boyack. He's another educator. Having students at different ages in the same classroom makes it easier for young students to stay in the zone of proximal development. The zone of proximal development means, what somebody who's a little older, more knowledgeable than you can do it when they're around. And then you do it with their supervision, and the next time they're not around, you can do it on your own. Okay, Gatto. Having all kids the same age takes the students away from their past and their future. Yeah, Ayn Rand commented on that. When all kids are equally the same age, they're all equally ignorant, and they can't teach each other almost anything. That's why it's good to be around people that are younger and older. You teach the younger ones, and then the older ones teach you, and everybody benefits. Okay, Gatto continues. All same-age classrooms cuts kids off from their past and their future. They hang out with kids their own age and become indifferent to adults. This is new in the world. Schools don't teach anything except how to follow orders. School activities have no real meaning, no real community. Real education should be family-based. Deep learning should be based on the kids' goals. Real community is family and local with activities like planting and harvest. Before the public schools, literacy in Massachusetts was higher. True learning is self-teaching.